Hey, you're going to love this week's episode. Today, joining us, we have AJ Toce and Blake Eiermann with Toce Financial Group. You know, these guys are doing things way differently. And I want you to listen to how they work with their clients and the fee structure they often use with their clients. Here's their episode right now. Man, I'm so glad you both came into the studio today.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having us here.
You're a Lafayette guy who moved to Mandeville, and Blake, you are from Mandeville.
Yes.
You grew up, you went to high school there and everything?
Yeah, well, I was born in Metairie at first, but I moved to Mandeville when I was 10. So that was my life in Mandeville.
We have some family over there. Where'd you go to high school?
We go to Mandeville High.
You went to Mandeville? Yeah, come. And AJ, you grew up here in Lafayette, hauled off to Mandeville. Is that when you started your company?
In Lafayette.
Oh, you started in Lafayette. You basically moved it to Mandeville when you moved.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we got 2 years ago.
So tell me about your company. I want to hear from ground up. How'd you get going?
I was a law student when I started it. And it was sort of I was a investment advisor before I went to law school.
Yeah.
I worked under another advisor for a couple years. And I didn't necessarily have a problem with him. I had a problem with the industry the way it currently was. And it just, I knew that I could do better, but I couldn't find someone to work for who was doing what I thought should be done. And so
tell me about that. You don't bash anybody, right? But tell me about the way you think it ought to go.
So the way it ought to go, I mean, it sounds obvious, but the advisor should be doing exactly what they would want to happen to them if they were a client, right? You're doing others what you would have them doing to you. We have it for most of us, and we could talk about it. In some contexts, you could be a fiduciary. In some contexts, your advisor might not be a fiduciary. I'm a fiduciary all the time. Others may not be. Others may have to charge too much to make ends meet. They might have to steer you towards certain things that their boss told them to steer clients towards. You know, they might not have the autonomy, because a lot of these guys, it's a sales game. A lot of these guys are really friendly, really nice, and they believe in the person who recruited them to wherever it was. It could be Northwestern Mutual, it could be Edward Jones, it could be Wells Fargo, it could be anybody. It all depends on whether or not you have an advisor who is like really earnestly going to work for you. Yeah. Do they work for you, or do they work for Morgan Stanley or Wells Fargo? Like, who do they work for?
That's right. And so you work for the clients as a fiduciary.
Yes, I don't have a boss.
Yeah, exactly. But your clients, though.
Same for the clients.
But you serve them and you advise them and you put them into vehicles to meet the goals that they want, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so what I love that. What do you do over there, buddy?
I'm kind of like the assist person for AJ. I make sure everything behind the scenes goes through and give them the layup basically with a lot of meetings and clients. And then I do the lead financial planning with him. So I'll work with this software to do planning with clients. And that's kind of how we get the ball rolling when we get new clients now, is we try to get a full picture of their finances before we can give them good recommendations. And so that's kind of what I focus on a lot.
Yeah, so I love the concept of getting a really good consultation and understanding the client backward and forward, right?
Right.
What our risk tolerance are. What would you say that process entails for a new client that goes on with you? I mean, is it painful?
I've tried to make it as easy as possible.
Yeah, sure.
And I think part of my skill is being able to look someone in the eye and ask them, how much money do you have in the bank? You know, that was just as a young advisor, that was a hurdle, like really break through and ask them questions that, like, they're probably asking themselves, but they don't, people might not want to, they don't have anyone to talk about this with.
Yeah.
Right. Like I've had conversations with people where they feel like they just like went to a confessional and got something off their chest. And like, you know, the birds are chirping a little louder and the sun's brighter because I finally like confronted this thing. And most of the time, I would say every time, however they thought of it in their head is not as bad as they thought it was. Oh yeah, there's people I've talked to who are in great positions and they think they're doing terrible, and you know, vice versa, and everywhere in between. But I start with people, you know, wherever they are when I meet them.
Yeah, love them where they are, right, and meet them where they are. And that's just a really personal thing, though, to talk about money. and we all have hangups on money one way or the other. You know, we either want more, or we want to keep it, whatever we have. So that position is very, very personal. But what you know what I love about what you said is when they leave, the birds are chirping a little louder, sun is shining brighter, right? Well, it's because they have someone on their side.
Yeah.
They have someone to talk to, bounce ideas off of, and you're a true advisor, consultant. So I love that.
Yeah.
How many people do you have on your team?
So it's myself and Blake. I would say is mainly the bulk of the day-to-day team. Mm-hmm. And then I have certain people who I use to help me out, like on the business end.
Got it.
But I would say the biggest contributor to the team of me and Blake is the technology that we use. So
Yes.
there's Altruist, there's Right Capital, there's a Wealth Box. These are like the main 3 pieces of technology that we use. And it creates a really great experience for clients and for the advisors.
Yeah, I would imagine a good tool would do a good job for both the customers and for you guys to help
Yes.
bring them apart. What's the hardest thing about being a small shop today? Do y'all have dreams of getting bigger and bigger?
Yeah, in the right way. And specific kind of way, yeah. It's a very new concept to think of having a small team like this and also serve hundreds, or maybe my goal is to actually have 1,000 clients.
Got it.
And I don't need, so this industry is built towards helping the rich get richer. And that's fine. I mean, I have no problem with that at all. But the reason I started it was because I saw the way that especially the smaller clients get treated, because you're getting paid based off of how much meat the clients bring to the table. As small clients, by standard, sort of standard fees and commissions, I can't make enough off of this person. So either I have to only deal with people who have 100 grand or more, or I have to steer you towards some things that generate revenue for me, which means that it's not staying in your account. It's not going to continue to grow. And that compounding effect that we're obsessed with, help people compound at the highest rate they possibly can, and all the costs and fees and mistakes, it's all friction against that. And so we try to create as little friction as possible.
Who's your ideal customer?
I guess if like from a business growth standpoint, I love to work with entrepreneurs just because there's so much to be done there. If you're getting a 1099, not a W-2, then there's planning around how to optimize self-employment tax. Should I be an S-corp or not? What sort of deduction should I look for? What sort of accounts do I need to open? There's so much out there. You could have a SEP, you could have a solo 401k, that could be Roth or traditional. There's simple IRAs, and there's like the traditional IRAs, Roth IRAs. There's so much to choose from. With an entrepreneur, if you're just getting started, you're making a W-2, you're not an entrepreneur, there are definitely certain prudent steps that you can and should take. But I would say the path is a little bit more simple. Once you're the employer, you're still the employee. And so you have to navigate all that, but now you're the employer too. And so you have to navigate the whole other more complicated side as well.
So do you love dealing with entrepreneurs? Because that's our audience, and we love on our entrepreneurs.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I love entrepreneurs, not only just because it's a kindred spirit, a like mindset. We have certain experiences that are shared. Like I told you earlier, I thought I was the only person who felt this way as an entrepreneur. And then I come to realize, like, oh, this is a sort of like a rite of passage. Like the suffering and the misery is not just me. It's
you have to go through a little bit of that stuff. Yeah. But you find your way, and it's one of those things where you open your doors and almost immediately you're a little off track. Right? Yeah. I wrote a book called Business Mulligan, which is kind of like, it's like I need a mulligan because I thought it was going to be so different.
Yeah.
Let me get back on course.
Yeah.
So you're constantly doing it. What I love about y'all's attitude is you're going to be there for the entrepreneur because you know what they're going through. You're walking the same journey too.
Yes.
Anything surprise you in the first couple of years of out of the gate?
Yeah. What I thought was a great idea that should sell itself, just it hit a brick wall every time I try to talk to somebody about it. And I go,
what is it?
Well, my initial idea was I pointed towards the cutting costs, especially for the smaller, younger investor.
Yeah.
What we're looking at is what rate is this going to compound at over time? So when you look at that compound, the tail is like 30 years, 50 years. Oh my gosh, it's it's crazy how what you start with today, I tell people it's like looking down the barrel of a sniper rifle and you're pointed at a target that's a mile away. Well, if the barrel of the gun moves just a quarter of a millimeter, that endpoint is completely different. And so when you get with somebody who's young getting started, it's very crucial, the decisions you make. And so my philosophy was, okay, these people are all getting charged a bunch of money, and instead of their money compounding at 8, 9, 10%, it's compounding at 5, 6, 7%, which these people don't realize that they look and they say, well, my money's going up. That's good. But that's, the market goes up, right? I mean, markets go up, okay? Zoom out 100 years, look at the stock market, it goes up. So even a mediocre advisor can look decent because the market did all the work for you, and you took a chunk of it, like the croupier or the person taking a rake at the poker table. It's like, if you take too big of a rake, then all of a sudden everybody at the poker table is collectively losing money. It's a little vacuum, and people don't realize that it's a little straw stuck in their retirement. And so I wanted to fix that. So I tell people I'm going to do all, and I'm not just going to tell you where to put, your money in the stock market. I'm going to help you figure out that index funds are the best route. It's like a gift given to you by Jack Bogle and Vanguard and now a lot of others. And we're going to do it at the lowest cost possible. So I'm just going to charge you 1%, and I'm going to help you with tax planning. I'm going to help you with retirement planning. I'm going to talk to you about your estate planning needs. I'll build you a will. I'll build a will for your kids. We're going to do anything and everything I possibly can that's within my expertise. I'm going to charge you 1%. And so it sort of became a, hey, look, I'm cheaper than those guys. And that's not, it's not a good perception. It's like, well, yeah, of course you're young, you're just getting started. You probably suck at what you do. That's why you're cheap, right? When I wasn't able to show them or not immediately, I just didn't understand. I didn't realize I nerd out on this stuff day and night for so long that it all became easy and common sense to me. And you lose sight of 5 years ago, I would have been the brick wall to this message, So it's been a long journey of figuring out how to package the value proposition and how to propose it correctly to people so they understand.
Right. Yeah. Now, is that the system you operate under today?
Yeah, I mean, it's still basically the same principle. We charge 1% or less. We help you avoid all the friction. There's no commissions being charged. There's no platform fees. I'm paying any fee that you might incur. I'm paying on your behalf. So of course I have an incentive to keep the fees low, right? And I pay some fees that I really don't have to for good clients to help them get a boost or to help enable one thing. And I really just want people to go down this financial planning path and this prudent, tried and true methodology where I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm not trying to sell you something complicated or pretend that I'm some kind of money wizard. I got 6 screens and there's charts everywhere and I'm day trading and all this. And it overwhelms me just to think about it, because what I actually do is so simple and so straightforward.
Yeah.
And that actually can be a turnoff to a lot of people.
Yeah, I know, but you have to disrupt and you have to change the game sometimes. Have y'all seen the 1% realtor?
Yeah, 1% lists.
Yeah, lists. Yeah. And I have a friend that just sold a house, and I know she, customer side, saved a lot of money, but they did pretty good. They did pretty good as far as a company, because it's simple. It's just simple.
So yeah, it probably highlights something that a lot of buyers and sellers don't really consider. They're just, okay, I'm buying a house, here's how much it costs, and you don't think about well, what if it's a big number, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, 1% of that really makes a difference, doesn't it? So start thinking in those terms. I have seen 1% lists more and more often over time.
Oh yeah, they're becoming more prominent, but it's a marketing problem. You know what I mean? Then you solve that problem and get people to receive it, the way you want them to understand it. And but success, breeds success. So the farther along you go, you're gonna be great. So do you think you're gonna have more Blakes in the shop as you go? Are you looking to grow the team as well?
For sure. Yeah, definitely.
How'd y'all meet?
So Blake went to high school with my brother, Gianni. And so he was always around at the house. Him and Gianni were playing chess together. I like to play chess. So we start leaning over their shoulder and watching the chess games. And then he was studying finance, so the conversation comes in when you meet another finance guy, you know.
Yeah, what is stuff Tom you want to? Oh man, that's awesome. So I love what you're doing. I'd like to learn more about the 1% concept, but of course when I hear that I feel, oh, bargain, you know, so go find more guys like me.
Yeah. And that's a big thing too, is there's so many people I had in mind who I was like, oh yeah, they've got a lot of money, or they're really smart, or whatever it is. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna land that person. Some of them you do, some of them you don't. It wasn't about me having to like change the message for every single person. It was about finding the right clients.
That's right.
You know, and it actually got to the point to where I'm turning down referrals, and I'm willing to help anybody who, if you call me and ask me to help you out, ask me for free advice, I'm going to tell you I'll tell you everything I know if you ask. But I want the people who don't really want to do it themselves, and they don't want to like spend all this time and energy on it. They're like, hey, just take this and do a good job for me. And it actually, a lot of these people, I'm pushing them. I'm like, hey, let's have a meet. Let me show you this. Let's get up to date on, but the right type of client is crucial, because like I said, I'm not going to do anything overly complex just for the sake of complexity, and that's what a lot of people want. And it's actually like what they expect. Oh, you're a lawyer, you're the owner of the firm, you're elite, you must have all these tricks up your sleeves. And then as far as like investing and trying to pick the next hot stock for you, whatever like that, or even a lot of people send me videos all the time of this tax technique that they saw on TikTok, or, this is like a ghost LLC under 508 of the Internal Revenue Code, all this stuff. And like, you just can magically never pay taxes again.
Yeah, exactly. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah. And I don't mind educating people on all the, I'll have people send me a new one every month. I'm like, okay, let me tell you why this one's not right. Let me tell you why this is off base. It's okay.
So do you have, you feel like you have an advantage being an attorney?
Yes, I do. For several reasons. But I think, as an investor, you have to have a very logical framework. Warren Buffett is the most rational person who may have ever existed. It's like phenomenal how rational he is, and he never strays away from it.
Yep.
And to be rational, you have to have truth. You have to have humility. Truth wherever truth can be found. You have to have humility. You have to be like self-aware. And the way I do these things was I learned the federal rules of evidence. And what those are is just all the rules of thing. Whenever you're going to have a trial, it's, hey, I accused you of doing this bad thing, and I lined up 12 people right here, and I'm going to show them that you did do the bad thing. I'm going to show them proof. But there's a lot of things that you can do to trick the jury.
Yeah, sure.
A good lawyer would trick the jury 100 times out of 100. So there's all these rules of what is allowed in court. You can't inflame the emotions of the jury, show nasty, I'm claiming that you killed this person, so I show you 20 pictures of the crime scene, the dead body, to make them disgusted. And I'm associating that disgust with you because you're right there on the stand, but that doesn't mean that you did.
Yeah, correct.
There's 100 things like that. So it's mostly filtering out data points and getting all this data all the time, overwhelming amounts. And very seldom you find something that's both knowable and important. You kind of filter out for those two things, and you use the rules of evidence to do that. I don't think most even lawyers who have practiced it, they just view it in a box of, okay, here's what I have to do when I'm in the courtroom or given a decision.
And they get in their lane, and that's what they practice.
You're right. But in my world, that's a framework just for thinking in general.
That's exactly right. I love that. I always say it might be common sense, but common sense is not always common practice.
Right.
And I think of Buffett, and he just brings a lot of common sense to it. And it sounds like that's what you guys are doing. It's just common sense. If I charge you a 1% rate on your money, and we're working together to get this stuff done, it's a lot of common sense here.
And there's a lot of people who argue that that's not the best way to charge. And there's room for all kinds of different models, like flat fees and stuff. My contention is that I will put together a plan for you that will grow your after-tax net worth by more than 1% faster than you will grow it if you do it yourself. In other words, my plan will be at least 1% better than your plan.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. So how do you prove that then? Do you have them with a little pilot program comparing them? Or
Well, we've done, it's hard because in order to, the proof is so far in the future. So I have to tell you, trust me, in 10 years, you're going to double your money. You got to wait 10 years to find out. And there might be some bumps along the way. You know, we just had a huge bump back in April where the market dropped 20%. And I just heard a story this morning from an advisor friend who just had a client that did not align with the policies being put into place, and she had to get out of there.
she got out of the market.
Yeah, and said, I'm never getting back in. And I the proof is in the future, but I think in the future she'll see proof that wasn't the right decision.
Even today,
it didn't take that long this time.
but everybody was saying, buy when it's low, sell high, right? But I hate to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, so that and that's the thing. Like, one mistake could cost you 20% of your money.
Yep.
Well, you could have paid me for the next 20 years with that one mistake.
Correct. And that's what you said early on. It's every decision you make.
Right.
I mean, we make thousands of decisions every single day.
Yeah.
Was that a Zoom meeting? Do I need to run this yellow light? Am I going to be late? It's great. And we live and die by our mistakes or decisions.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people out there, it turns out, and it's unfortunate, but there's a lot of people out there who are actively trying to get you to make mistakes.
Golly, that's terrible. I don't even want to hear about that. Maybe our listeners need to hear about it. I mean, well, you're talking about the folks who are working for the big conglomerates, and they just say, follow us regardless of...
Buffett would say, you praise by name and you criticize by category. So I'm not going to name it, but I can tell you that there is an industry out there. And the investment industry does it too. You have investment industry and you have the insurance industry.
Yeah.
Investment guys try to sell you insurance to make extra money. Insurance guys try to package their products as an investment to make more money. But an insurance product is meant to insure you against a risk. If you have a risk that you want to insure against, buy insurance. If you have money that you want to save and grow and invest, be it an investment.
Yep.
Okay. So that's one pitfall. And look, insurance is a really important piece of a financial plan. However, it's not this, I'll make as much money as the market and I'll never take any downside risk. It's just not. But you have a lot of agents, very good people who weren't in the investment industry ever and just don't understand like what the boss is telling them is like, I wouldn't be allowed to say that because I'm regulated by FINRA and the SEC. So these guys are able to, as far as like if the client is the prospect is the jury.
Yeah, sure.
And there's a lot of evidence that they're allowed to display that I'm not allowed to display and wouldn't even if I was allowed to, because I think it's manipulative, or we would call it more prejudicial than probative.
Yeah. So I kind of want to go back to the tools. I'm really kind of fascinated. It sounds like your company, you're trying to stay pretty lean as far as headcount, but you're using tools to become more efficient, more effective.
Yes.
You could talk about the tools, but Blake, are you more involved on that tool side?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Tell me about that.
I mean, what do you want to know? Really, there's so much that they do.
Tell about Right Capital.
You named about 3 different tools, and I'm sure they all have different utilities and services, right? What do you like about them? Are they using AI? And the new everything is about AI, but are they really that effective and efficient?
They definitely are. They save so much time.
Yep.
And which is a huge thing because you could focus on a lot more important stuff when you're able to save a lot of time with that. Right Capital is the main one that I use, which is for financial planning. So that allows us to do, it just allows us to input every aspect of somebody's finances, their income, their tax returns, their expenses, all their assets and liabilities. And it lets us project all kinds of scenarios into the future. So we can run thousands of scenarios and see which one's the best option for you. And anytime you want to change or make a decision, if you want to buy a rental property or open up a new business or new branch or something like that. We're able to run scenarios on how that's going to do.
But it's always good data in means good data out, right? And so I bet one of your jobs or roles is to make sure that we have the most accurate data going into these tools.
Yeah, it's very important. Getting with clients, getting like accurate data and keeping it up to date, super important. And what's great, one thing with Right Capital that we use is it links to like bank accounts, credit cards, your mortgage company. So it keeps all that data up to date constantly. So you don't have to be nagging on a client every day of like, oh, how much debt do you have? And did you pay off your credit card bills and stuff like that? Because it keeps that up to date and you're able to check in on that and make sure the client's happy.
So the client has visibility into everything, and so do you guys, right?
Yeah, the client has a login to the software as well.
So when they turn things over to you and you input this data, you have this picture, forget about the models right now, but just the visibility on their current status, it's got to be eye-opening for some of these clients.
Yeah, I mean, it's eye-opening to me. I rely on it this is what I tell people. I am fully invested in everything that I'm telling you to do. I am just telling you what I'm doing.
That's right.
I essentially built what I thought would be a dream business. And so I'm my own biggest client, biggest fan.
Yeah.
And what I use, when I'm going to make a decision, hey, Blake, or a lot of lately, hey, Blake, I went to my sister's wedding in Vail and I spent $3,000 that I wasn't in the plan. So please tell me how that's going to affect me, for the rest of the year. What is my budget? Because you come to find out, I mean, if you run a tight enough ship, that 3,000 is going to show up as a deficiency. So maybe I had the room, maybe I didn't, but all kinds of different decisions. I rely on it. I've already forgotten what it was like to not have it.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. So you're using it, you're proving it out every single day.
Yeah, me too.
Have you put your stuff in there yet?
Yeah, I use it as well. I'm young, so like it's projecting out so far for me.
Yeah.
But there's a good budgeting tool, and I really like the budgeting tools. I use over
The
that.
lessons you're learning right now, man, is unbelievable.
Yeah. 23 years old, right?
Yeah. Keep it up. Lord have mercy. So let's kind of talk about your lifestyle. Obviously, I'd love to hear why you do what you do for your customers.
Okay.
But you made some decisions to live a certain lifestyle, right? You could have gone the attorney route. You could have gone the investment route, right? But you've blended these two. So first, tell me about your customers. What do you want them to have? What's the ultimate outcome?
I want them to have discipline, but more than that, I want them to have just the peace of mind that comes with knowing that everything's in its right place.
Yep.
Because the whole point is to like not have to think about your money all the time. Whether that frees you up to go and earn more as an entrepreneur because you're not messing with all this accounting and financial stuff, or maybe you just want to spend time with your family or go golf more or, whatever it is that you like. I mean, you only live once. Let's enjoy some of it. So I'm trying to help people actually just enjoy their life more.
Love that. Yeah, me too. It is the kind of thing I do. What about you? You're setting this up in a particular way. Did you do this so you have more freedom, to do the things you want to do?
Yes. When I was in law school, at the beginning of your third year, there's a mandatory seminar with JLAP, the judges and lawyers. It's like the AA for lawyers. And they just kind of tell you like, hey, if you think you're stressed out now, it doesn't end when law school ends. This is the profession, Yeah. And it's great for the right type of mindset. But I didn't want any part of that. I said, I don't want to be absorbed by this thing. Or like once I'm in it, like I'm expected to just take a bunch of pain for a payoff one day. And I think about that payoff. I'm like, I don't even think I want that. Yeah. I don't even think I want that. And somebody uploaded all of Warren Buffett's annual meetings to YouTube, like right around this time.
when you were making this.
Just like right around this time. Yeah. And so instead of like focusing on my law school studies, like it's your third year, you'd start to think about what kind of law am I going to practice? Where am I going to?
This is gold, though.
My fault, probably. I was saying, where am I going to practice? What am I going to do? And I just didn't like any of it. And so I ended up procrastinating by watching Warren Buffett for 3.5 hours straight, just listen to him and field questions. And, some of those early ones, like he didn't know that this would ever be on the internet. He's more candid than he is now. And there's so many things that I thought I knew. Oh, Warren Buffett does this. Warren Buffett thinks this. And oh, it's wrong. Because I was listening to hearsay. I was listening to somebody else tell me what Warren Buffett thinks instead of listening to Warren. So I was like, if this is what I'm spending all my time on, I'm already a registered advisor. I had clients in law school. It was just a few, So I'm like, why am I even going to practice law? Why don't I just do this? And so I started studying, like, how does the financial industry even work? Like, what are the laws and rules of building a firm? And like, how much capital do I need? And what kind of personnel, all this stuff. And so I got obsessed with that. It just became so easy, but it wasn't an amazing coincidence. Like, I just got all this pure gold, like uploaded by some kind stranger on the internet.
Yeah, I find myself, and should I quit watching reels or not? Because every single comment I make, hey, I saw this reel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But boy, did yours pay off. You're watching these videos, and it just shifts your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, you talked about paying. You have to go to a little bit. My wife is a 28-year veteran attorney, and it's painful the whole time.
Yeah.
Or it's just plays about money all day long. All day long.
Yeah, if they're super necessary. Laura, I love lawyers. We need lawyers. Like my first 2 years of entrepreneurship, I spent I want to say in my first year, like more than half the revenue went to the lawyer.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right, well, I'm working just to pay this guy. But it all paid off. Yeah, they're super necessary, but it just, again, it's like it's not right or wrong. It just wasn't for me.
What's your next step? What's y'all's next deal?
Well, we're always trying to do more because when this business is far from perfect.
Yeah.
There's so many gaps and missed opportunities. And I mean, we're doing very well, but we can do more. Should we do more is another question. Well, can we do more sustainably? And by sustainable, I mean, will I still be as happy as I am right now?
That's what it's all about. You're right. So you're making those decisions. It's about bandwidth. You know what I mean? It's okay to be out of balance every now and again, but you're looking at this as a lifestyle decision.
Correct.
And
yes,
that's a lesson for everybody.
Yeah. My whole life I wanted to be a gym goer. And I could play, as a wrestler and everything, but I just never could find the consistency. And I've later, especially like it's an investment principle, but it's a life principle. It's like don't interrupt the compounding. Stay consistent, stay in it, and keep letting it grow. And I finally realized like I'm not consistent in the gym because I go in and I just kill myself, and it's just not sustainable, and I don't enjoy it.
Yeah,
It's not about like how much suffering I can endure at the gym. It's about whether I did the minimum effective volume to grow. And so I started just taking it easy at the gym, just doing like as soon as I felt like I did something to make a difference, okay, I could keep going, but I can also just go hit the sauna if I feel like it.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
And so, and I'm not. I could have gotten big quicker. Like I could be way bigger with it's been like 3 years of going to the gym. I've gained significant weight and strength. I could be bigger, but if I try to do too much too fast, I would have quit the whole thing.
Yeah, about it.
So that's sort of my hiking.
That's a good one right there. That's great. Well, man, thanks for coming in. I appreciate y'all. Anything that y'all hoped I'd ask that I haven't asked?
I came as an open book, man. There's a million stories I could tell. There's a different, we could talk all day. But I just appreciate any opportunity to tell the basics of our store and what we do.
Yeah, man. Good for you.
And one thing I wish you to ask is about my family, because I love my wife and my 3 daughters. And sort of.
Yeah, that's why. And that is your why, and that's living your life, right?
Yeah.
And so tell me about them so when your daughters listen, they hear them.
Well, the youngest one's about to be 1.
Okay.
The next is 3 years old, and She's learning to talk, and she's wild, and she loves her dad, and we love spending time together.
Yeah.
And exploring in the back. When we go in the backyard, you know, it's like we're going into the jungle. Explore.
Or where you live, it's kind
Yeah, and it's really, I get to be a kid all over again, and that's really great. It's fun.
we're ending on that.
All right.